In this episode, we're diving into a story that's as sweet as it is impactful. You'll hear how a simple idea of turning an old police truck into a traveling treat dispenser grew into a powerful tool for building trust, sparking smiles, and bringing the community closer together. To share how it all came to life and what it says about the heart of community policing, let's hear from the people who make it happen. Thank you for joining me today. I am joined with Kristen Voigt and John Conterno of the Community and Youth Services at Northport Police Department. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you.
So today we're going to talk a little bit about community policing and then one special part of community policing that you guys have. But first, what does community policing look like at Northport Police Department?
Well, community policing has really come a long way. I was actually the first officer in our unit, and it's really grown exponentially because now we just talked about how many? Six
So yeah, I think
Six officers?
seven officers.
7 officers in our unit from one. So we're very lucky to have an administration that is really proactive about community involvement. And that is basically what community policing is. It's being involved in your community so that you can build that bridge, foster that trust, improve communication, enhance safety within the public. All of these things come together when you have that strong unit because you engage with the people, they feel comfortable coming to you, and it really, helps foster a positive reputation.
So one of the areas that I know of and that you guys do is the treat truck. Can you tell me a little bit about the treat truck, how it got started, kind of what the origin of the treat truck is?
So the community outreach van or treat truck or whatever other names have come about on it is something that our chief pushed for to have. It's something that I believe Lee County has a few of. There's a couple other agencies that have them, and they saw the positive impact that it had with the youth and the community. And most people, they see it and I mean, you can't go wrong with giving out an ice cream in Florida in summertime. So, the thought process came to fruition. We had a lot of community partners, businesses, and donations that came in. The vehicle itself is a repurposed vehicle that the police department already had prior. So these things all kind of came together. There was, like I said, business partners that were generous enough to donate the funds to outfit the vehicle. To this date, we still have donations that have come in to actually supply the vehicle with the treats that we pass out. So what was it, probably 2 years ago they started talking about, I think, bringing this thing together, and it was done and completed last summer, and then we started using it actively this year during some of our outreach events that we have. So National Night Out, the Autism Awareness event, some of the summer camps we take it out for.
So how old is it? I'm pretty new to Northport, admittedly. So how long has it been around? And
So the vehicle itself, we've had it for just under 1 year now. The vehicle is obviously older than that. Like I said, it's a repurposed vehicle that we converted over. And actively, we've been using it for about a year now. The first time I think we took it out was we did a soft opening here at City Hall, and then we brought it out for last year's summer camps.
where can people find the treat truck? I know it kind of bounces around and has different purposes. So where can people find it and find you guys?
So just following social media, the Northport Police Department social media on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, they typically will put out when we're going to be doing events. And then sometimes we just randomly show up at some of the other events that are going on. So like I said, the summer camps are a big one. We don't really ever have a set date where we're going to bring something out. We get with the leaders of those organizations and we kind of plan something in advance, but we don't always necessarily actively say, hey, we're going to be at this location. So
Where does the product come from? And I know, well, I guess first, how much can it even fit?
They can fit a lot. But no, I'm going to let
Probably
Krista go over that.
more than you would imagine when, obviously this has been an undertaking for all of us. It's a learning experience. So we're still trying to, figure everything out. Like how many ice cream do we actually need? How many people are showing up? So it's trial and error right now. We do get a lot of our product has all been donated, thankfully, from our business partners, community organizations thus far. So we're actually still kind of, going through that. And I don't really see when that is going to come to an end, to be honest, where we're going to be picking up the cost for it, because we just have such a generous, supportive community and everybody's just always willing to help. So we've been very lucky thus far.
What is some of the product that's in there? Are they like the fudge pops? Like I'm just curious. I know it's a scorching hot day out today, and we're only in May. So what are some of the products that are in there?
So what do we have right now? We're using mostly Hershey's products
Hershey's, yeah,
and
donated.
Rich's.
Yeah, do the Happy Bounce. Hershey's, they were like our last donation sponsors for the event. And they, let's see, we had like the scooter bars and, the crunch exterior. We've got ice cream cups. We've got orange cream bars. We've got fruit bars. We had chipwiches. We've got, twist cones.
Ice cream sandwiches. I mean,
Yeah, sour blue raspberry. Kind of you name it, we have it.
That's nice. So there's a good selection. You're not just handing out one type of ice cream. How has the community responded so far, especially kids? Because I'm sure kids love seeing a truck. I know my daughter, the minute she hears the jingle of an ice cream truck, she's looking at me, feeling through my pockets, trying to find how many dollars I have for how many ice creams I can get her.
So I mean, it's been overwhelmingly positive. I mean, I think we get asked more, how much do they owe us because they don't expect it to be free. But like I said, everything's coming in through donations, and the goal is obviously to keep it a fun event, fun day. Maybe put somebody in a little bit of a better mood, or put a smile on their face when you give them a free ice cream. But yeah, it's been good. I mean, I haven't heard anything overly negative from anybody, in person, or even really so much on social media or anything like that. So, like I said, it's pretty hard to be upset about getting an ice cream.
What do you hope people take away from it when they come and get an ice cream? Obviously, they're walking away with an ice cream and a little bit of a sugar rush. But what else do you hope they take away from that encounter?
Well, I think it's not only about ice cream, but it's a chance to engage and maybe have a conversation with somebody. So maybe a child that maybe had a fear or distrust of the police, or wasn't sure, or uncertain about police, because they can be scary in all their uniform and their gear and everything. And now you've got, a police officer handing them some ice cream and making that, engagement with them. And it kind of makes them see them in a different light. And then it's a chance, if parents are out there, we can have a conversation with them. Hey, there's some, speeders that have been in the neighborhood. Is there anything that we can do about that? And we can, put them with our traffic unit, or give them the resources to help what's going on in their community. So not only is it engaging with the kids in the community, it's also, maybe solving some problems as well.
I mean, it's a fun time.
Yeah.
It plays music. Yeah, how many times have we been out there, and the kids just start dancing, and the parents start dancing, and sometimes, like I said, we have some younger officers that are in our unit. It's not uncommon to see them out dancing as well. So, it's a bonding moment, I think, between, bridging that gap between the citizens that we serve, and trying to get over that persona of law enforcement is only there for certain things. It's different. It's fun. It's a way to interact positively with the kids and the families. So
And I know the treat truck is just kind of one, vertical of what you guys do. What are some of the other programs or initiatives that you guys are doing or working on, or that people might know of, that happen throughout the year?
We have a lot of events that we do. So not only police sponsored events, that we have our national night out and our autism awareness event, but we also do our Stuff for Cruiser, where we, partner with Awaken Food Pantry to, raise money and provide food to people in need during the holiday season. And our huge event, Shop with a Cop, and the Chamber of Commerce raises money each year, with their Christmas party. And the amount that they've been able to give and donate to us has just been, uh, they've been
it
so generous.
it's been a lot.
Really beyond what we could ever imagine. And we're so thankful because we get to give that right back to the community. And we've been able to help, last year over 200 kids. I imagine this year it's probably even going to be bigger and better, which is what we strive for every year. But also, in addition to the police sponsored events, we're always getting requests to come out to other people's events, whether they want to do a law enforcement recognition day, or they want the kids to, a preschool where we go out and show them our cars and, interact with the kids. So we're always getting requests for different things like that as well.
Yeah, we do. I mean, we do probably 10 to 15 just requested events from the elementary schools, the public schools. We go out for Remake Learning and their special needs events and the church events that come out. And what is it this weekend or the next weekend? It's going to be the Hurricane Expo. The city events. We're usually pretty much. I mean, we go to everything. We also cover homeless outreach services. So our unit has a civilian caseworker that's in our unit that is specifically there to try to bridge that gap and regain housing services for those individuals that are experiencing homelessness within the city. So like Kristen said, we partner with a lot of the nonprofits, Awaken Church for food services and Suncoast Partnership for, they're the leading hub that puts that information out there to the other nonprofits that are in the area to try to get some of these individuals rehoused and off the streets and out of the woods. So, we do youth services with the Explorer program and volunteer services, the details with the Braves. There's a lot that falls under our unit. So
Just a little.
just a little bit.
How can residents be more involved or stay informed of the different events you have going on, when the treat truck's going to be out, anything that is relevant to the work that you guys are doing in the community?
So social media is probably the best hub to get that information out there. Our department's really good at putting out the information of where we're going to be, when it's going to be, absent of, things out of our control like weather and stuff like that. We're usually pretty on point on when we're going to be somewhere and what we're going to be doing that day. So Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, the city's web pages, they can go on to any of those things and they will typically have it posted on where we're going to be and what events are coming up.
All right. I want to thank you both for coming on and taking time out of your day to come speak with me about the treat truck. This makes me want to go home and have an ice cream when I get home. I have a personal favorite. It's my daughter's favorite. I think it's the strawberry shortcake, the one with the little crumbles on the outside. Oh,
The scooters.
yes, I love that one, and my daughter would have 100 of them if I would let her. But to end, I would like to ask you both, what do you hope kids remember when they see the treat truck or meet an officer for the first time?
I think like we had mentioned earlier, bridging that gap and showing, especially the younger generation, that we are people just like them. The ultimate goal is we don't want a child or a younger person to look at an officer and be afraid. So hopefully, this is something that could ease that tension or that possible fear of the unknown, even if you haven't. When you're little, you see a police officer, it's just a different view of somebody. If they're in uniform, they have all this gear on, the guns and the taser and the radio and the vest, and typically they are dressed in a semi-military, paramilitary type of look. So it's a different look. You're not seeing somebody in a pair of shorts. Well, even though I'm wearing shorts, you're not seeing somebody in just typical clothing. So it's sometimes curiosity or awe or even a little bit of fear. But hopefully to bridge that gap a little bit and make it to where when they come out and they get an ice cream and they get to talk to the officers that are out there, it just shows the human side of law enforcement, or even somebody that's had a bad experience with law enforcement in the past, or not, I shouldn't say bad, but a less than pleasant, whatever the experience could have been. The community outreach programs and the things that we do have mended a lot of things by just having time to sit down and talk with somebody. Officers that you encounter that are working calls for service, they're typically working a call and moving on to another call, where we have time to sit down and have a discussion with somebody on a one-on-one personal basis and explain why things are done the way they are. And that has seemed to help quite a bit with some people that have had some less than positive experiences per their view of whatever took place. So, we're human. We mess up just like anybody else does. But, communication and talking to each other, it's a pretty powerful tool to have. So
He really stole my answer.
I got
like,
everything.
verbatim. No, 100% agree with what he said. When we go out to someone's house, it's usually because there's a problem. there's an issue. They're scared. Maybe they've been a victim of a crime. Maybe they've been injured, whatever the reason is, they're probably having a bad day. So we get to meet people on a different level. And I think that's really great to have those positive interactions, because maybe in the past you've gotten a ticket from somebody, or you had, like, John said, not a great interaction with law enforcement, or something, didn't go the way that you wanted or planned. Now you see a different face of law enforcement and see that we're just like you. Yes, we wear a uniform, but we're absolutely 100% just like, the person we're standing in front of talking to.
Awesome. I love that. Well, thank you both for coming on. I appreciate all the work that you do for the community, and I look forward to grabbing an ice cream with you guys the next time I see the treat truck out.
Oh, we'll have some strawberry shortcake for you.
Yeah. Stock it up.
That's another chapter of Northport Stories. Don't forget to subscribe and follow to hear more tales from our community. Have a story you'd like to share? Reach out. We'd love to hear from you. Until next time, keep exploring and keep connecting with the people and places that make Northport home.